All right, y'all, what is going on? Back with another video. Today, we're going to talk about this Atlanta Falcons hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay comes to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium to face the Falcons, and I think this is going to be a pretty solid game. Both teams are playing pretty well. Falcons could do a little bit better cleaning up some things, get better on third down. Tampa Bay is, they're the leader of the division at 3-1, and they've always played well. But the Falcons and the Buccaneers, once again, this is a divisional game, so there's not much to really hang your hat on when it comes to who has an advantage. I mean, we beat them once last year. They beat us once last year, and it's always kind of been like that throughout the years of us being in the same division. But what I will say is the Falcons need to find a way to just start executing better on third down. They left a lot of points on the field when it came to, getting on the side of the 50 and having to kick field goals. They didn't score an offensive touchdown last game, even though they still won. You can't live and die by that. Don't get me wrong, win is a win, but you want to see your offense get, going. So the matchup itself is, pretty much even. You got some players out. Antoine Winfield will not be playing for the Buccaneers, which is pretty huge, for the secondary, because, the Falcons, they're going to try to run, throw the ball. And, that's pretty much the staple of what the Falcons do in the beginning of games. Now, they could run the ball, and I don't know if how successful they're going to be against the Buccaneers. Their front seven is actually pretty solid. But, you would want to run the ball, but with them not having Winfield in the lineup, that's going to make some type of, opportunity for Kirk Cousins to get down the field and possibly, have a pretty solid day in the air, not necessarily turning the ball over. He's had 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but nevertheless, you will want to see us try to find a way to take command in this game. We're playing at home. We're playing pretty good. Even with Troy Anderson's going to be out, we should be okay. Hope JD Bertrand could step up and fill that gap, and that will be absolutely awesome. Also, I expect that with Caleb McGarry playing, they're probably going to, even though I just talked about the passing game, they're probably going to try to lean on the run a little bit just to exploit, what they can do in the passing game. So if Caleb McGarry can actually do good run blocking with the rest of the offensive line, and if we definitely can get Tyler Algier going along with Bijan Robinson, this could actually be a convincing win for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, you look at what they've done in the last few weeks, the whole situation with Kansas City and with Pittsburgh, the 2 losses, those are games that kind of got away from us. You look at the Philadelphia game and the New Orleans game, those was down to the wire games. We haven't had that convincing win yet. And this is an opportunity. I think they could do it. Night game, playing at home, one of their safeties out. The running game could get going with our offensive lineman, Caleb McGarry, back in. I'm not saying he's the end-all, be-all, because Storm Norton did pretty good. But when you have him in, is more of a cohesiveness with the rest of the guys on the line. And hopefully he don't stink up the joint, because he did look kind of bad in a few games this season. So what I'm saying all that to say this. I feel like the Falcons got a really good chance to win this game. There's no doubt about it. In my opinion, they could go up, in the division, be 3-2, and be at the top of the division. Already beat the Saints, turn around and beat the Buccaneers, and you're in a real good setting going into the season, further into the season. And I think we turn right back around and we play the Panthers after that, I think. But so I think, getting 3 up, possibly up in the division, that will be pretty solid. You kind of survived the first few games, leaving the first 4 games 2-2, which it could have been worse. And if you can catch your stride with the next 2 or 3 games with Tampa, Carolina, and Seattle, you're probably setting yourself up for a pretty solid season for the rest of the year, even though it's, no teams a gimme, no teams a pushover. But you want to win these games, especially the ones you have at home. And, the Tampa Bay game, this could really set off a lot of things. I think the first 4 games, they were, nothing to really propel the team. But I think that New Orleans win really was a really big deal. And if they can get the win from Tampa Bay, that will be really cool. One thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to find a way to stop the passing game with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, Godwin. those guys are going to find a way to get the ball. Fortunately, with our secondary, I think that's our strength of the defense right now, and it's going to be a really good matchup. Looking at how they play, their receivers, with Justin Simmons being added, and I don't know the necessarily update on AJ Terrell, but for when I say they doesn't have him in the lineup, as far as the injury report, so it looks like he's going to be. Let me look to make sure. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be ready to go. So I'm here for it, and I think that the Falcons should be ready to play, up against the Buccaneers, and I think at the end of the day, that's really what it is. I feel I could be completely wrong because I didn't really watch the Buccaneers. But what I can say is the Buccaneers like to pass the ball. They have a really good passing game. Their running game, I don't know much about it. Even though I do see who they have in the running game, it's just that I'm not saying they're no name guys. It's just that you don't know much about Irvin. You don't know much about him. But I could tell that they're going to try to run the ball a little bit because the Buccaneers always try to have a passing or in a run balance. So, but you already know Mike Evans and Godwin. Those are the ones that they're going to be looking after. So, if we can shut that down, Baker Mayfield's playing very good football. If we can find a way with our front seven to get him in, out of a rhythm or whatever the case may be, even a secondary find a way to get him out of the rhythm, that would do wonders. That would be absolutely amazing. So I think that would be the offset for us to actually win this game. I think the Falcons overall, the offense is going to be fine. The offense has never really been in a situation where they couldn't get anything going outside of the first game. And the first game is people are kind of looking at that as a throwaway now, but I do think that with the way the offense is going now, not too concerned about that. If anything, I'm just concerned about the offense actually, performing on third down and in the red zone. Moving the ball is not the problem. It's just once you get to those two areas, I think they're like last in third down conversions, and we haven't scored an offensive touchdown in the last game, so it's kind of like a concern. But they should be fine. They should be fine. We're going to see how that goes, and I'm just going to leave it right there, man, because I don't know how to read this game. Both teams are playing pretty solid football, and they're finding ways to win. And Atlanta kind of threw away the first game because of the way they played. I mean, I think if they played the way they play now, they probably could have been 3-1, just like the Buccaneers. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter. You want to go ahead and try to get these wins, especially against divisional rivals. And the one with the Saints was a good, solid win. We got that one against a divisional team, and if we get this one against the Buccaneers, I mean, we could be looking pretty decent. So we'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know how I feel about the game post game. I'm not going to the game. I'll be watching it here, so I'll be doing a video right after the game, and we'll talk about it then. All right, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.